our grid for race number 2. F1 Kieran starts on pole with the mighty fast Audi ahead of Please Don't Eat Me's Renault. A random demon will start from 3rd in the Honda Civic. Zars, brilliant race 1, will see him start in 4th in that Mercedes. PCG Muri will start 5th in the Subaru Impreza. Neither of these Imprezas, HCR Espion in 6th, showed tremendous amounts of pace in race 1. 7th, the Yami here, solid points finish for the H2H Racing Mercedes. Jamjar starts from 8th place. Tim Ninetails, again, watch for the sign off the line. It is going to be a fast starting car. It is in the dry, in the rain, who knows. Impega's mighty quick Ford is in 10th. Stephen Magnet will start in 11th place ahead of the second Audi of Der Integra R. 13th, Static Sheep struggling with that Subaru. Couldn't quite score points in a race 1. EVR Invisible AK will start from 14th in the second of the Megane. Blazer, great qualifying, but couldn't convert it in race 1, is down in 15th place here. Language in the Volvo in 16th place. 17th to the Bratmobile with the Scion TC. Couldn't quite get the performance out of that car. Stevie in the Volvo in 18th place. Rubber Trail finds the Volkswagen in 19th. In 20th, we have Shaq in the Alfa Romeo that got in trouble in a race 1. Reg Liska, we saw the Hover Lexus in trouble as well in 21st. And the Creator in the Volvo S60 in 22nd. I think we might have had a BMW lag out of the race, unfortunately. Right, so it is off towards the front of the field we go. It is a good start from the Audi, a good start from the Renault. In fact, the Renault's going to get a better secondary part of that launch there. The Honda is to the outside. Now, who has got their braking right into turn 1? The Megane is a little bit wide. So is the Audi, though. The Audi's got the better run. The Audi's got a very, very good run now. Dodged the puddles through turn 2. The Audi's stuck on that outside line, although you can find some speed. Everybody's wiggling the car. Everybody's fighting the car through that next corner. As still they go side by side. Still it isn't settled between the pair of them. The Subarus have got off to a very, very good start here. You can see Muri and Espion in the background. Still they go side by side. Huge wiggle from the Renault. It looks like he's going to get away with all of it. Zars is just about holding on to that 4th place. Is Kieran close enough to have a look? No, he is not, although he will if the Renault goes that wide. Very, very wide from the Megane, and it's on the puddles, it's sideways, it's twitching, and I think, well, there's a little bit of, oh, he's got away with it, there's a bit of lag going on. It was definitely just about in control through there. He's actually got a very good run down the back straight. I think Kieran's going to defend, though, to the inside at the hairpin. The Renault's got to be wary of the Civic as we round the hairpin for the first time. Horrendous puddle on the inside of that corner. The braking zone also is a tricky one. No one looks like they're offering the gravel, though, which is very nice to see. I think, amusingly, a cleaner start here in just terrible, terrible conditions as we run through the Schumacher S's for the first time. It is Audi leading, Renault leading, well, Honda for now. The Mercedes is wanting to have a go at this one, and the Mercedes is got a mega run at the top of the hill, being assisted by the Subaru. No one's got grip out there. It's just, there is all the Fords off in the background as well. Impega's not had a good start. Impega's plummeted through the field a little bit. Oh, Muri's in the gravel. Muri's asked too much of the Subaru, and he's off visiting the gravel. That's going to be a lot of recovery for that car. It looks like the Honda might be about to make a move. Yeah, the Renault had trouble. The Renault got in trouble. I don't know whether it was a slow run onto the straight. Is the Honda going to make this one stick? It looks like he might just about through the chicane. Renault's in trouble. Zars is in huge trouble with his with manufacturer kind of pseudo teammates here, as they're going to go 3 wide into the final corner. Mercedes don't take each other off around here. Sheep is going to dive up the inside. Sheep makes up all the positions, and here comes Impega's Ford. That's what Impega wanted to see in all of this. Keep these guys busy fighting. The more they fight, the less sort of chance they have to escape down the road, and here comes that Focus. The Focus, we saw it off touring the AstroTurf, has got back on. Espion is going to have a look up the inside. I'm not sure he's going to be able to slow that one down. They all sort of stack up through turn 1. Yami and Sheep got a bit of trouble. Zars has gone off exploring. That's not a good line to be taking. We'll drop back in behind the Ford. Ninetails is up in 10th with the Scion. But the Scion is likely to be a real handful in the rain. I would not... I'm not particularly envious of... bloody hell, they're 3 wide up ahead. Impega is just about working his way through all of that group. I think he's actually got himself now up into 6th place. Some brilliant opportunistic moves through all of that to get himself up behind the 2 Mercedes. It's all kicking off further back. Espion's dropped to 10th from that... Look at them going 3 wide. We're in pouring rain. It's abysmal conditions for racing, and I think Stephen has been carted off. Not actually quite. quite sure. I think a couple of cars got connected, and I think Stephen on the outside just had nowhere to go, and sort of a front bumper caught on a rear bumper, and nobody can steer in that particular instance. That's a shame, for the Scirocco was looking good. He's going to have dropped there all the way down into 20th place. Better start from to the Bratmobile, actually. He's got his car up into 14th position. In fact, Alfa Romeo's done a pretty good start as well in all of this, I should say. Well, let's take a little bit of breather, a little bit of a catch up on what has transpired so far, and the Renault's in trouble. The Renault, please don't hit me, got in trouble at the top of the Schumacher S's, I think. Run wide and has just got no real speed. He's going to drop back into line, having run across the track. He's going to drop back into line behind the Scion. Yeah, we were expecting the Megans to show a lot more pace here. We were really expecting. I mean, the spray is pretty... in fact, if we go, I'm just going to go and show you what it is like riding on board with one of these cars. It is... yeah, you do not really see a huge amount. Oh, Ninetales is gone. Can't spin the camera around, unfortunately. Ninetales had a wheel on the grass and couldn't slow it down into the chicane. Now your visibility is a little bit better here. But, yeah, when you are running in a pack like this, the visibility is just awful. Trying to spot braking zones and so on is so difficult. However, it's a little bit easier when you're at this kind of a distance. It's, you know, one of the additional challenges when it comes to a wet weather race. I think Ninetales got away with that massively. He did. I was expecting him to really plummet through the order, but he has got away with it. Oh, that's a clumsy move. That's a very clumsy move from the Scion there, because couldn't get the car slowed down in the braking zone. He's going to get hung up to dry, though, through the next corner. This is all fighting for the final points-paying position here. Muri, we saw touring the grass, is trying to recover back up through the order. They're almost 3 wide further back once more as we go through here. It looks like the Audi is going to claim 13th. Yeah, the Scion has ended up in all sorts of bother through here. And in fact, here comes the Volkswagen Golf. Yeah, not a good. It showed some brief flashes of speed, got into trouble at some point and fell back down the order. But a better showing so far from the Volkswagen up into 14th. And as I said, you know, there's still plenty of laps, still plenty of time to be moving forward. At the front of the field, and it is F1 Kieran leading the way, actually not pulling that far away from the Civic. The Civic is doing very well in second. Third is a hotly contested position. The Mercedes are going to come under fire quite soon. Now, do the Mercedes, it seems as if Jam is the quicker of the two. Is Yami going to let him go and allow Jam to try and get away from Impega, allow him to try and chase down Kieran and Demon potentially at the top? Or is Yami going to be wanting his first podium, or certainly his first podium for a little while? The Mercedes of Yami has got into, he's kind of had good race ones and then often got into trouble in race two, so 2 good points finishes would be very important for that H2H Racing Mercedes. It was at this point that I had some capture card / internet issues, so here is what you missed while I was resetting everything. Jam busy fighting with his teammate, would have a big dive up the inside, not quite able to make the path stick. The bigger issue for the Mercedes was having been wide at one corner, made him slow on to this fairly short back straight, but that is all the invitation that the Ford needed to pull alongside. It is a long way to go around the outside of the first part. If you can stick it out, though, you will be on the inside for the next bit. We'd seen the speed that the Focus had been getting, and sure enough, Impega was able to clear the Mercedes. Not quite all over and done with yet as they run into the hairpin. The Mercedes very close behind. Has a think about diving up the inside. You've got to be very careful with having a big lunge up the inside here, though. You've got to be very close to get it done. The Ford good under brakes. Also, huge puddle on the inside of that corner. That is a nasty one to have to try and avoid. The Renault of Please Don't Eat Me was fighting with Espion and Zars. However, brakes a little bit too late, gets a rear wheel on the grass, and that's the car off into the gravel and, well, plummeting down the order. Again, it is a mistake that I perhaps expect to see made a little bit more at this circuit. It's a very easy one to do. You see sort of plenty in versus the communities and other races just dropping a rear wheel on the grass in the dry can cause a lot of problems there. But getting a little bit too late on the brakes and I think kind of diving across the grass in some ways to avoid ending up in the back of the Subaru as well would, see the Renault plummet down the order. Tim in Ninetales will continue his recovery drive, although, as we've said time and time again, getting stuck in traffic can be very, very costly in terms of time. The Scion was quick, but was having to try and make his way back through the order, fighting with Czar's Mercedes. In the end, he would finally get the move done again on this short kind of back straight section, with the Mercedes being a little bit slow out of the corner, having taken a slightly wonky line. It's a good opportunistic pass from the side, although you can see how good the Mercedes is when it comes to the Accord. It's right back on the bumper of the TC, but not going to be able to do anything about it. And finally, the Golf had actually worked his way up into a points-paying position, the Volkswagen having made his way up to 12th. Unfortunately, things would go wrong for this car. Another very, very common mistake at Nurburgring. Just a little bit too much speed into the Schumacher S's, and the Volkswagen clips the sand on the inside and, loses a whole heap of momentum. The Audi, not quite sure when the Volkswagen was going to pop back out again, would fire himself across the grass, just making sure that he stayed clear. An unfortunate one. Again, it's another incident I expected to see a lot more of. It's a fairly common place to have offs, but a little bit unlucky for the Golf. Anyway, we rejoin the live action as the cars just start their 6th lap. At the front of the field, the Audi is leading, but it is certainly not pulling away here. In fact, the whole field has stayed very, very close, and it is looking like Kieran may be coming under increasing threat from that Honda. The Civic not quite close enough. Well, that's a very, very optimistic. I don't think it was even an intentional optimistic move towards the inside. Just couldn't quite get the car stopped in time. Could have had a wheel on a puddle somewhere around the corner. They're certainly not pulled that far away from 3rd and 4th place. I still can't currently see if the stream is loading. It has got the chat going. There we go. We have got live. We have got picture again. Sorry for all of the problems on that one. 5th place is seeing a potential pass here. Sheep was not looking particularly quick when it came to the dry. Couldn't even score points in race 1. However, has moved his way up into that 5th position. Displaced Jam another place. Jam had fallen to 6th there. I'm going to blame the weather conditions for the stream problems. Okay, we're just going to blame the the wet weather here. I'm just going to have a little bit look further back just to see what action. He's kind of trying to jump back into the rhythm, but what on earth is going on? For the lower positions, Stevie's Volvo is in 15th place. I was about to go and have a look around here, but it does look like things are about to get quite close for the lead. Okay, I think Demon may have made an attempt at a pass, but it not quite work out. Kieran continues to lead this race. We have got 3 laps to go around this circuit, but Kieran is been under pretty much pressure the entire way with that Civic. As I said, I was not expecting the Civic to be a massively quick car here in the wet. My experiences with the Honda have not particularly suited the this sort of conditions. However, Demon has got some serious speed in that car. Is he going to have a look at the inside? It's a long way back. You're a really long way back there to try and get a pass done. Kieran doesn't even feel the need to cover the inside. The Audi is a little bit wide of the apex. The Audi looks like he's having trouble getting it turned in, and the Audi is preferring to take that wider line. Now, it is the preferred racing line. However, you leave the door wide open for somebody if they're close enough to have a go up the inside. Demon wasn't quite close enough that time around, but I'm not so sure Kieran is going to be keen on doing that manoeuvre much longer, and they've all got to be wary. Yami is catching, as is that Focus. That Focus that was so mightily quick in race 1 is starting to catch this group. Now, whether the Ford is going to have time, here are the lead for. In fact, if we can get a time intervals come up, I'm just curious to see. Time intervals does not apparently seem to be working. It's showing as a 5-second gap to Impega. That's not a 5-second gap. That is certainly not a 5-second gap between Kieran and Impega, and it looks like the Ford might be trying to line up a pass towards the inside of the hairpin. No, he's not going to be able to do it. Again, isn't close enough. And we talked about this earlier, but in case you are, just joining the stream, if these drivers, and often a lot of drivers will be driving from bonnet views, from cockpit views and so on, that is the visibility that you are dealing with. Trying to get out of that slipstream to get a pass done, trying to spot your braking zones and so on. When you've got that sort of visibility, when you're running close enough to affect a pass, is tough. It is very, very tough indeed as we see all of the cars through this next corner safely. Mercedes slipping and sliding his way around. Yeah, it is not easy to be getting those passes done. Looks like Tim Ninetails is up into 7th place in the Scion. It's not been a good day for Espion. The Subaru has, he got decent points in race 1 and looks like he will again be picking up points here again. It's not been a great day. Not been a great day at all for the Subaru. It surprises me. To be honest, it does surprise me to see the Impreza struggling around this circuit. Although Ninetails, got to make sure you don't put those wheels on the grass. It is easily done around this circuit. Zars is fighting with Muri. I think that is Muri moving up a position into 9th. We saw that particular Subaru taking a tour through the gravel trap at an earlier stage. The two Renaults are continuing to hold on to the final of the points-paying positions in 11th and 12th. Yeah, we were all actually expecting more speed from those Megans. The Golf better performance out here. The Golf up into 14th place. I'm going to jump back though towards the front. It does very much look like it is going to be the battle at the front here. That is going to be the exciting one to the end of the race. There was a bump between the Mercedes. That's going to have hindered both Yami and Impega through that particular corner. You don't want to be getting sideways, but you definitely don't want to be getting into the back of somebody. And Demon, having run a little bit wide, isn't going to be helping. He's not going to be helping him. He's not quite going to be in position, to try and overtake, to have a go in any of these next couple of corners. At this stage, you're really hoping that the car ahead makes a mistake. It is you've got such spray conditions to deal with, and when everyone's running, very, very similar lap times, to be stayed bunched up like this, in this particular manner, no one really able to fully go for an overtake. You're running very, very similar lap times, and your best bet in many ways is to hope that the car ahead, just runs that little bit wide, gets caught out by a puddle, gets caught out by a curb, for example, up here. Not necessarily go across touring the grass, but if they suddenly get a big oversteer moment, that's the sort of moment that you want to be able to strike, to be able to have a go at getting passes done as we head down towards the next couple of corners. It's like Jam is fighting back against Sheep in the background, while Impega is busy looking for a way past Yami. It looks like Jam is going to get back up into his 5th position. Not sure if this Mercedes may have suffered damage. He was fighting with Yami at some point and may have just fallen off the road trying to get a pass done, because they were running very, very close before we had a little bit of a stream crash. We will see if Jam can hold off for the rest of the race. Ninetails, I think, is probably catching this group slightly, but is just a little bit too far back. Hasn't got enough laps to do anything about it. Zars continues to run close with Muri, although that Subaru starting to pull a little bit of a gap. 13th place, the Audi of Integra, not looking really like he's going to be able to close on those Renaults, but equally the Golf a little bit too far back to put any pressure on him. And there's a fair old gap actually behind that. Something's going on at the front. So I just wanted to go through everybody before we headed on to this final lap. But no, apparently we've got... Demon tried it, but it didn't work. Demon definitely had a go. He's still having a go, in fact. Demon's on the outside. Kieran did take that defensive line, I would imagine, through the first corner, and this is going to make for an interesting final lap. Demon is looking for every which way he can try and get past that Audi. The Hondas are quick in a straight line, although he's got himself in trouble. So busy trying to find a way past the Audi. It looks like Yami might have a go up into 2nd place. Now, in the dry, you can go around the outside here and you'll be on the inside for the next part. That's fine, but in the wet, there is a horrible puddle that you do not want to put your car in. Yami has to run through it a little bit, but you see how slow it makes the Mercedes out of that corner. Impega is all over the back of that A-Class. It doesn't look like he's got quite the drive down towards the hairpin. That is a huge let-off for Kieran. It helps massively because the Honda can't go full attack. The Honda can't go fully on the offensive because he'll get... if he runs a little bit wide, he gets into trouble. He'll get steamrolled by the two cars that are behind. Yami got a wheel in a puddle and slowed himself down massively coming out of the hairpin. He's now got to try and fend off that Ford if he wants to get a podium position here. A few more corners to go. Just a few more corners to go to navigate in these horrendously wet conditions at Nurburgring. The Tim and Ninetales has really caught the group behind as well. That could be an interesting finish between all of them. There is bobbling, there is sideways. It looks like Demon has not got a great run onto this back straight, but Yami didn't either. Can Impega find a way past up into the chicane for the final time? One of your best overtaking spots on the track, but the Mercedes is just going to cover that inside, and it is not a very wide part of the track here as they jump across the curbing. It looks like Demon is going to have to fend off these guys. I think Kieran has done the job that was needed to be done in the Audi. Led from the off, but was pushed very, very hard. The Civic showed incredible pace here in the rain. Kieran will claim a victory. Demon gets the first podium for the Honda. Yami gets third ahead of Impega. Looks like Jam will end up in sixth behind the Subaru in the end, ahead of Ninetales and Espion. Muri will get ninth. Zars continues to get points. It looks like the Renaults have actually swapped round on the final lap. One of them may have made... Oh, what a finish. They didn't swap round in the end. Invisible AK would get the... Oh, no, they would. Invisible AK would end up with 12th ahead, or behind, sorry, of Please Don't Hit Me. Integra will get 13th. Good run from the Golf, actually, to get up to 14th place. The Hover Lexus struggled, perhaps not likely to be its best of circuits by the looks of it. Quite a poorly car in this one as well. Yeah, it was always going to be a bit of a tougher day for the for the Lexus. Might have got into trouble. The Scion, the Volkswagen. Oh, we're going to have some. We're going to have some showcase. Well, that's not gone very well, guys. That's the second time we have seen the. Well done, Gliska. We're going to finish in reverse, are we? You might get beaten by the Volvo in this one. I'm not sure that's yeah, you are going to get beaten by the Volvo. I think there was some various bumpers. It may well have been a big old shunt that went on with these vehicles that we didn't quite see on these replays. Well, it was certainly a very, very exciting race at the front. A little bit more spread out further back. I was expecting it to be the other way around. After what we saw in race 1, I was really expecting it to be the other way around here, but that just wasn't the case. It was not the case at all. So, a rundown of the finishing order. Kieran will claim victory. And after a less than ideal race 1, that is going to be some very much needed championship points. And more importantly, the other championship rivals didn't have a particularly great day. A Random Demon, fantastic second place with that Honda Civic, pushed the Audi the entire way through the race. Yami here would get a podium in third, just holding off the focus of Impega. Sheep would be the best of the Subarus in fifth, ahead of Jamjar with the Mercedes. Ninetales gets seventh, and with the fastest lap, the only car in the 219s. I wasn't expecting the Scion to be good here. Got in trouble. We saw him spin wide at the chicane, but recovered to 7th, beating Espion and Muri. The Subarus struggling a lot here, actually, in these conditions. Zars gets 10th with the Mercedes. The Megans both pick up points in 11th and 12th. Integra gets 13th with the second of the Audis. Rubber Trail with the Golf on its debut. Couldn't quite get points, but 14th, a better showing this race around. Stevie gets 15th with the Volvo. Shaq with the Alfa Romeo in 16th, ahead of Language and the Creator with their respective Volvos. Gliska in 19th with the Lexus, and to the Bratmobile with the Scion in 20th. Stephen Magnet and Blazer both DNF'd, I assume, through various crash damage, along with the Hordes who were unable to make the start. So it is on to our championship standings, and Espion does indeed continue to lead, but only just. Only just. There is 2 points in it, as Kieran will retake that second place. There is only 11 points covering the top 3. It is going to get all very exciting at Silverstone for the finale. Nami is in 4th. Sheep up into 5th, scoring some better points. Much better suited is Subaru to the rain. Unlike the BMR cars, the 2 BMR Subarus really struggled when the going got wet. Impega takes 6th. Ninetails slips a little bit down to 7th, with not quite such a good round. A Random Demon gets himself up into 8th. Very, very big fight over that 5th place here. Please Don't Eat Me is in 9th ahead of PTG Muri. Hordes, unfortunately, was unable to score points this time around, but will sit in 11th. Stephen Magnet is in 12th. In fact, the kind of second part of this table is pretty much unchanged from previous rounds. The only difference, Zars with the Jam Sport dealer team at Mercedes has moved up a couple of places, has moved up into 15th, but there is very, very small differences in points down this end of the table. A single point here, a single point there can really make a big, big difference to the team's championship. And for the first time during this season, Team BMR have been knocked off the top spot. H2H Racing will take over. It's very close though, only 9 points separating, sorry, not 9 points, 11 points separating the 2 vehicles there. Audi Sport in 3rd, a big tussle over 4th place though, with the Alpine Renault Works team just about edging out the Independents, but not by a huge amount. The Subaru Tuscan Advan Racing will be the highest of the Independents, but as I said, it's very, very close down here. Ford Racing UK in 6th ahead of the DMAC Racing Scion. The Repsol Honda Racing in 8th. Wacko's Motorsport a little bit further behind, just about fending off from the Red Dice Racing Scirocco. There's kind of some sort of 3 or 4 distinct battles going on. The top 3, then the sort of the tussle for 4th, and then a little bit further back, this end of the table. It's, yeah, not a huge amount of difference between all of these teams. The Lexuses, the Volvos did struggle out here, as did the Alfa Romeo. Yeah, not a great round for some vehicles. The rain threw up some interesting surprises. The cars that we perhaps expected to do well, maybe not quite so much. And, you know, vehicles like the Astra, for example, unfortunately unable to race in this round. Who knows how that would have fared. The manufacturer standings, and it is Subaru leading the way. Mercedes have caught a little bit. Subaru have by no means won this championship, although they do have a fairly hefty lead over the Mercedes. Audi have a rather consolidated 3rd place, a little too far down to perhaps challenge a Subaru and Mercedes, but unlikely to be passed by anyone else. The big battle for 4th place here between Scion and Renault has been going on since race 1. Quite frankly, between those, at the moment, Scion have come out just a fraction on top. Ford up in 6th place, just beating out Honda, BMW 8th, Volkswagen 9th ahead of the Lexus, Volvo, Alfa Romeo and Vauxhall. That, though, is going to be it for this round of the championship. Yeah, the rain certainly threw up some really rather interesting surprises. Nurburgring proved to be a truly fantastic race event. Both the races were very, very close, very, very exciting. And the championship is going to come down right to the wire at the Silverstone National Circuit. And of course, let's not forget, it's Silverstone. There is always the potential, there is always the chance for some of that horrible rain to reappear. That, though, is going to be it for this video. The next round, the final round of the Turbo Tours will not be on Sunday, will not be on the 2nd of June. I'm having to postpone it back to the 9th of June, as I am not going to be around. I'm going to be at Goodwood for that particular one, so it will be on the 9th. If you want to watch it live, you can on my Twitch channel. There will be a link in the description of this video, so that, yeah, you can follow that and you'll be notified when that is going live. If not, if you can't catch it live, don't worry. It'll be going up on the Monday after the event. That'll be it from me, though. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.